Well, a very good afternoon. It's the 30th of December 25, and yes, it's cold but sunny. We might be disturbed with some traffic when it passes, but what I want to show you is, see this wall? This is Highland Road in Gilmerton. This wall forms part of the estate of Monzie, and this is actually the boundary. Well, in actual fact, they own quite a bit of land to the across into the Gilmerton itself. In fact, there's most of the council house estate is on lease to the council for, well, usual 999 years. But this avenue I want to show you, hopefully get some peace. You see the wall which extends all the way along here. You may well remember back in summertime I talked about the murder of Helen Laird. She died along here as a result of a overzealous boyfriend slash partner who, well, he killed her. She was only 15 years of age, and she worked at the fruit and vegetable and fishmongers and poultry outlet in Crieff. The shop was called Malloch's. It's now Alan's pet shop. But here comes the cars, Eddie. This is the actual route of the fork of the road which takes you to Monzie. This, up until 1968, was the route to Monzie village, following the boundary wall. It's pretty overgrown. There's been a lot of tree fall, storm damage. This is Highland Road, and this takes you to Aberfeldy or Dunkeld. And just up where the silver car is just about to pass up in the corner, there's a left turn there, which I'll show you shortly, and that is the new route to Monzie village. And this is done by the Laird, old Charles Maitland McGill Crichton. He died in April, well, the old man died in April 1968. So Monzie must have been quite a sad place with these deaths. You can see I can't get through, but this is the road. If you were to scrape down far enough through the vegetation and leaf fall, you would find tarmac. But just to emphasise, this is the route. We have to take the alternative new route. But so it was this Charles Maitland McGill Crichton, the son of the Laird who died in 1968, who made that decision out of respect for the family, for the mum and dad who were, is it Charles and Elsie Laird, who were tenant farmers at the Coult Farm, which I'll show you shortly. I'm out for a dander. No point in taking the car anywhere on a day like this, so I'm just out for a wander. Not going very far. Well, I say that, but so anyway. So let's just walk up Highland Road, and we'll come to the part which I'm talking about. So this is always the established route for heading north, of course, and why we have a little dike and stuff. This was always the route to the small glen, and as we come up here I'll be able to show you a bit more clear what I mean. So I'm not sure if the work was done in 1968 or a bit later, but I think it started almost immediately. But this is the new road which comes up, because the road itself is It's very narrow and awkward for turning into, but the decision had been made to raise all the ground, and this is exactly what the laird had intended. And primarily this was done so that the Mrs. Elsie Laird at Colt Farm or her husband did not have to walk past or drive past the scene of their daughter's demise just along here. So I thought that was rather thoughtful, and you can see the extent of the boundary wall as it goes all the way along. So the road at one time would have just come straight through. So this is what it was done for, and over there was a farmsteading called Crieff, and the house is just about completely gone now. Somewhere in my collection I do have some images of there's a fallen Scots pine tree which I have a photograph of before it came down, and also the part of the farm which was fairly intact even 20 years ago. So we're venturing out on the Monzie Road. It's been a wee while since I had a tramp along here. I think I've said often in my channel, I do a lot of reminiscing of places I've been. Well, this is one of the main routes that I walked continuously, and rather than hark on again too much about it, but it's also one of my training routes coming this way on my 10 mile Saturday afternoon jaunt. Good afternoon to you. On your best behaviour, please. So it's a fabulous day. But there we go, you can see the sweep up there. Now, it was the 28th of April 1968, in the late hours of the day. She cycled home from Crieff, and I'm not sure the entire situation, but she was stood trial. He was sent to the State Mental Hospital at Carstairs. I know his name, I can't give his name, but he was eventually released. I don't know when, but I've got an inkling I know the chap, because there was a chap when I was a paper boy with Roy Stewart at Miller's. One of my routes was on that paper round, at least in the sort of 78, 79 period, involved Monzie Street, Cullendy Crescent, Crofton Appock, and Commissioner Street and all that sort of places, Duckledge. And there's a chap there next to a bloke. His name is Henry Robertson, an old man. But next to him was a chap who had been released from Carstairs, and I think it was him. So I remember him. I best not even give a description. Suffice to say, he used to wear a long coat. A long coat, even in summer days. This heavy sort of tweed herringbone effect, knee length jacket, coat. This field is called the cricket pitch. I think I've mentioned this before, because the Gilmerton lads used to play cricket here. So I'm just holding my camera away for a moment, so I'm just coming along, so I'll start to wander. Where's your dogs today?
Sorry?
Where's your dogs today?
Oh, they're away with the other half.
Are they? Oh well,
so, yeah.
our bonus then, eh?
Oh yeah. They're up Glendevon way.
All right, aye.
So doing, is it Perthshire, something like that.
Aye.
So yeah, they'll be full of it.
A cracking day again, though, eh?
Oh,
I love it this time of year.
It's just the best.
Absolutely. See you later. So we're coming along here to the East Lodge. I've probably covered all this, Andy. I mean, I used to come out here and not at this particular spot, but collect my holly and stuff and my ivy. In fact, there's places back over that way. Sorry about the sun in the camera, but I used to go and collect moss and holly and ivy and make up my own Christmas wreaths. I've done that every year. There's a lot of work. I can't fathom how I managed to find the time for all these tasks, but I seem to do that. Of course, I don't think I was quite so involved in well, I wasn't YouTube uploads, so these seem to take up an awful lot of my time, and perhaps I may have to curtail some of my loads in the coming months and year. You see the beautiful holly berries there. So that's the female holly, and very, very lovely to see that. It really is. It's gorgeous. So we'll switch off a little bit, Andy. But I thought I'd pick up on the Helen Laird story because I did discover her grave at Monzie Kirk when I was looking for Mrs. Orchison's grave. In fact, no, I wasn't looking for any. I came out to Helen Laird's knowing she was perhaps buried there, but then I discovered Mrs. Orchison's. I think that was the way it worked out that day. Forgive me if I've got mistaken in my mind today, but I'm sure that's the way it was. I felt sorry for the couple that used to live in that house. They rented it off the estate. And I stopped by one day, I said to her, "How are you getting on? How do you enjoy living out here?" She says, "Well, not bad, we've lived here for 32 years. And I didn't know that. Obviously a couple who had kept themselves very much to themselves. And crikey, within 4 weeks the Laird's son, the present Laird, issued eviction notices because they'd all been turned into car passing at a reasonable speed. Took the corner a bit wide though, he doesn't know the road. Tractors can come round there. Eviction notices because they were turning all the properties into holiday lets. So I felt sorry for that couple. It was almost like I had, well, what's the word, Andy? Had a predisposed premonition on how you're getting on here, or you won't be here for long, sort of thing. This is the route of Wades Road, and of course it came down and through. I mean, we're going back a very long time. We're going back to the 1730s, but it swung round all way up the back at the side of the knock through the golf course to Perthshire. And I can see a 4x4. It's in the dip just now, but it's coming from the castle. I don't recognise the colour of the vehicle, so I'm not sure. Maybe visitors at her ladyship's. This route, lots of the hedges have been cut back a bit. There used to be very tall lines of hawthorn all the way along here. This is where I first started to forage for my hawthorn. And there's a fabulous elder tree over there, and you can see the moon high in the sky. So the full moon on the 3rd of January, Annie. I'm quite looking forward to it. New car passing. Oh, delivery van. Asda. Who the heck's getting Asda over out this way? This is certainly the area you would think they would get to at least a Fortnum Mason once a year or something. So I wandered everywhere, and I've got a lot of fantastic memories just across the whole landscape, Andy. I really have. It's I just used to come out here, and I used to enjoy this part here at least, where I was looking up to the what way will I go today? I wonder where I'll go. I never knew. I never planned anything. I just sort of put one leg in front of the other and just let the magnetic earth pull me in a particular direction. We'll switch off until we get near a colt farm, Andy, will we? Yeah, alright, if you want. Incidentally, I should have just said, the field in here is called the Cavalry, because in 1914 this is where all the Black Watch were all camped out before they headed off to the fight in the First World War. 1912 was it, Andy? You were there? 1914. Yes. So this is Colt Farm. The Helen Laird would have stayed and with her mum and dad. And of course that's not the original Colt Farm. The old one was knocked down. I think that goes back to the 1860s, maybe slightly earlier. But the original building, when it was knocked down, they found a Covenanter's Bible from the 1670s, 1680s in the loft of the house. Don't know what happened to that Bible, but it's a very, very rare find. So the people in the area must have been covenanting, i.e. in secret prayer, in case Charles II's men came after them in bloody times. But of course we lost a big hay shed along here to fire some time back. Anyway, I shouldn't be pointing the camera into the people's property, but that's where the Lairds lived. So everything I've told you today about the Lairds is, i.e. the family Laird and her daughter's demise, is all about showing you where she passed away and she lived. I mean, I think I'm right in saying the ambulance was called. Got her into the ambulance, but she died before she got to hospital from the loss of blood. The jackdaws, you hear them in the trees. These jackdaws have lived here for centuries as well. All the birds have got their own little patch. In fact, along Monzie Road in this point here, right along where I've just walked, is a favourite haunt of the pied wagtail when they return in the springtime. The road is dotted with pied wagtails constantly. It's It's wonderful. It's just that the estate, like everywhere now, people don't have the funds to do the same upkeep as they once did. It's well, everyone's just trying to get by, aren't they? There's a quarry up there. That quarry is where they took the stone out to build the castle. And most of the houses around. Let's switch off for a while, Annie. Just a little shot of the Monzie Kirk there. And yes. Oh, look what the mess they've made of this place. I saw this in summertime, and you can see where they've killed it off. What they did was, this is the council, green space I think they call them now. Yeah, stupid changing names of all these different parts of the organisation for the same council. They poured weed killer all the way down the side of the columns. And look, they killed it off. It was like that. It was a little bit overgrown here. Yes, that's correct. But all they need to do is get you know, secateurs or even shears and take it back to the edge. A 5-minute job. But what did they do? Total destruction. They poured weed killer. I remember passing my vehicle, I thought, what the bloody hell's happened there? And that's what they did. That's what I'm saying, people, I mean, look at this. What is the point of that? I mean, that looks absolutely horrible. Really horrid. It doesn't serve any. There's no artistry in that at all. They've totally ruined it. If anything, what they should do is just cut those bloody trees down to the ground, because they're horrible, these trees. They don't do anything. They should never have been planted in the first place. You know why they're planted? Because they're cheap. But it would be much better if planted native species instead of this sort of, what is it? Cedar. It looks like cedar to me. It's not Leyland, it looks like cedar. But you see how they've ruined it, the ivy. The last time I was trying to get a shot of this, it wasn't very good. It looked rather smothered, but this is the old Caledonian brig above the Shaggy. You might hear it down there. I'm not putting my camera over too far in case it falls out of my hand in this cold weather. But anyway, that's the Shaggy. That's the Shaggy bonnet. So we shall continue on a westbound journey, please. Ah, look at the light on the trees, Andy. This is it's wonderful as the sun starts to dip. The winter trees take on a completely new perspective, and when they've shed all the leaves from the summertime and they're standing bare. It's something you only find between, you know, mid-December and sort of mid-February at latest. It's this wonderful sight. So when the sun shines, you should be outdoors. If it's driving driving sleet, a howling gale, well, you might be forgiven to staying cosy by the fire, but on days like this you need to be out and about. Yes, definitely, Andy. So that's the Fairy Knoll up there, Knock Durroch. There's an ancient fort sat at the top. There's nothing visual left there, of course, but that's the Fairy Knoll, smothered with bluebells in the springtime in May. It's a wonderful sight up there, Annie. Another name for it is the Oaken Knoll, because it's all oak trees. But it's certainly called Knock Durroch. Out the stairs. It's a splendid day, and you let's switch off until we get through the dark zone. So you know this part's where I've just walked from. But look at the trees, Annie. Look at this. This is what winter's all about. And the sun, of course, after the solstice, winter solstice on the 21st of December, is already starting to reach higher in the sky every day. You might notice in the evening just a few minutes every day how quickly it changes. And before long it'll be light till 5 p.m. We're celebrating this fact as we head towards spring. It's certainly a very cruel time. November lived up to its its quality. It's been a damn miserable month. November's probably the worst month of the year if you get it bad. It's, you can't adjust to the lack of daylight, and incessant rains, cold rain, everything's wet, everything's damp, everything's miserable. Well, I was thinking there just a moment ago about life in general, and I think to myself, Annie, that we're sort of the first quarter of the 21st century has already gone through us. And I totally hate the 21st century. I think everything's gone really bad. And for anyone born when I was born and brought up, I mean, we haven't had any wars. Obviously the British Army have fought wars, but we haven't had any wars. We've had peacetime, and we've had, at times of good education, at times of, wealth, plenty of wealth, poverty as well, but being impoverished builds character, you see. And so when you attain wealth, you are not as likely to squander and, part it with, £5,000 accommodation for the Ritz Hotel in Paris or something, or for a night. Just put your head down. Or hundreds of pounds for a bloody bottle of champagne or something, This is why I don't like this bloody Beckham. With his charitable voice. And yet him and his wife will quite easily, spend thousands of pounds a night. Not just Beckham, I mean any of these bloody celebrities. I don't care for them. But anyway, what I'm saying is about the 20th century, Andy. That's the Braille money up there, Andy. Yes, we know. We'll never have it again. There will never ever be a time in anyone's lives in which there was so much creativity, whether that be in literature or in films, movies, Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood, that Disney, I mean, who the hell watches Disney Plus? I mean, what the hell, you'd have to be bloody demented in the bloody mind to watch that shite. Even Hollywood don't make movies anymore unless it's a damn noise. Or something to do with reptiles or something, or the black magic. It's, I'm talking thrillers and, great movies, great thinking directors. We don't have them anymore. And the 20th century was filled with them. You're right back to Alfred Hitchcock. Have you ever sat and watched a Hitchcock movie from start to finish? It really does get into your brain. And of course we've got bloody George Orwell, although I always say I wish he'd never written the damn book. I wished he'd never written it. He handed a blueprint to the bloody government, the governments of the world, to implement that stuff. And then we have music. Never lived through a century like it. Big band music, rock and roll, We have glam rock music, heavy rock music, heavy metal, disco music, not to mention all the decent scores from all these movies, country and western music. We have classical music, although most of that was from the 19th century. No, I think that everything creative is gone now. It's there's nothing new. You only need to tune into your radio and find out that's a fact. Television's finished. The film industry's finished. And AI. I mean, what the hell, AI? AI, how you doing? That's the way I see AI. AI, you go for a pint? AI, I'll see you later. Look at the sad beech tree on the floor, Eddie. AI, I mean, fucking hell. I actually think that there's fallen angels. I actually believe that half the bloody half the world is made up of these fallen angels, and these are the people that are involved in advertising and media and AI, technology. But the rest of us, well, maybe not the rest of us, but people like me, were quite happy here in the 1850s. Apart from the barbed wire, which was invented in the First World War by the Germans, of course. No, if you take away the Tarmacadam, Scottish, and just keep the the dogwood rose and the frost in the grass. Forget about the barbed wire. Well, and the fence post, you could quite easily be 1850s. Especially look up there. Hey boo boo. Nice to see you. I'm just crossing the old Kelty brig here. The sun is it's absolutely terrific. You can see all the way out onto the frosty fields, Eddie. Truly magnificent. It really is, Andy. So I'm really having a fantastic time here, Eddie. I'm not surprised. Look at the lovely frost. This is what you think about on a summer's day. Walking along through the frost. Yes, oh, it's brilliant. On the hard ground, it's just absolutely amazing, Eddie. I have to say, it's glorious. Let's keep going, Eddie. God bless you, Mrs. Orchardson, and thank you for all the good times. Thank you for the apples, the orange juice and fun. Thank you, Mrs. Orchardson. God bless forever more. Yes. Uh-huh. Come on, Eddie. More of that spring barley, Eddie, spoiling the stubble. It should be all stubble all there. Yeah. Never mind, Eddie. The old Spanish chestnut. Poor Mrs. Orchardson there. Yeah. I maybe have to sort of pen a proper, the lyrics to a proper song to her. Not just something on spec. You can see her with that holly tree actually, Andy, that the whole spirit of Mrs. Orchardson is contained in that holly. Yeah, I can see that quite clearly. Yes, God bless you. God bless you, Mrs. Orchardson, and all the times we met. God bless you, Mrs. Orchardson, the times we won't forget. The apples and the orange juice, the laughter we sometimes had. No, and, oh, Andy. God bless you, Mrs. Orchardson, and the times that we did meet. God bless you, Mrs. Orchardson, the times that we met. God bless you, Mrs. Orchardson, these times I won't forget. The apples and the orange juice, the times that we had a laugh. That's one of my favourite sights. An old dyke. I really do. I love that, Eddie. Thank you.